Previously on agentpalmer.com, remembering Lilith Fair and lamenting the progress left behind. Eyes of the Dragon made me want more from Delain, but maybe not from Stephen King. And John's episode gave me plenty to think about and listen to. This is the Palmer Files, episode 170, with my lovely wife, Stefanie, who is back to talk about surviving our first year as parents. You'll hear us talk about milestones, guilt, patience, memories, sleep, plus how time has no meaning, and much, much more. Are you ready? Let's do the show!
That's what mundane was, and now you have a child. Nothing is ever mundane. Because when we got married, it wasn't jumping off a cliff. We can see the progression in these photos, because when you're in it, you don't necessarily notice it as much. We've definitely built more core memories.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
Core memories during this
than we did in our entire relationship before this.
Yeah. Although I think the first time he tells me no to my face, I'm going to be crushed and I'll be like, I don't know what to do.
Hello and welcome to the Palmer Files. I'm your host, Jason Stershic, also known as Agent Palmer, and on this 170th episode is my beautiful wife, Stef. She's back because 20 episodes ago, we announced the birth of our child, and then we discussed our first experiences as parents very much in the moment. Now, with some short hindsight, but hindsight nonetheless, we talk about surviving our first year as parents. Topics range from milestones and growing to memory and the return of coffee to Stef's daily routine. What parent powers we might form, do we have patience, guilt, and we end on a conundrum of some significance. But before we get there, remember that if you want to discuss this episode as you listen or afterward, you can find all related ways to contact us in the show notes. Don't forget you can see all of my writings and rantings on agentpalmer.com, and of course, email can be sent to thepalmerfiles@gmail.com. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we have a 1-year-old.
Yeah, we do. Can you believe that it's been a year?
I mean, yes and no.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I both, it definitely feels like it's been a year, but also at the same time, it also does not feel like it's been a year.
Before you're a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, after you turn 12, from like 13, 15, 14, whenever you stop caring about birthdays as milestones.
That depends on the person.
Okay,
honey.
Fair enough. So from 21 on,
you
know, when everybody, whatever, you only have an annual milestone, right? Like that's your real thing. Maybe you have Christmas, maybe you have New Year's, which is the same thing.
Anniversaries.
If you have an anniversary, but you have milestones for the most part annually. So everything feels like a year. You know, it's New Year's. Hey, can you believe where we were last year? Or it's, you know, your birthday. Wow, another year older.
The holidays have rolled around. The holidays are past.
The holidays are here again. Yeah. All that.
Yeah.
So much happens in those years that it feels like a year.
Mm-hmm.
So much has happened in the last year. It feels like so much more than a year.
Yeah. I'd say that's valid.
You get used to certain things.
Sure.
And then they change. And I'm talking about specifically like how long the clothes that we put our child in were newborn, which was like a day.
It did feel like, yeah. It was like maybe a week.
So then 3 to 6.
Yeah.
6 to 9, 9
or
to 12,
9, yeah.
12 plus, whatever. Those kind of changes that you physically see, it's like, oh, okay, so there's this whole pile of clothes that we cannot use anymore. Yeah. That kind of stuff, or eating more and more and more until you're like, the bottles we use to feed now, like, are gigantic compared to like that first week.
Yeah.
Those are little changes, but we got used to each step along the way. Like we got used to putting him in these onesies or feeding with these bottles. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, this one. And then this one. And all of those massive changes for us, because we're new, all feel like they took place over months. But like looking back, because it's only been a year, we know that like some of that was only a couple weeks or maybe a couple months.
Yeah. But I think also the kind of the way that it worked out, it was like, oh, grow. Like it seemed like initially it was all happening so fast that like things weren't lasting as
did
long,
slow-
and then
like the
it
last
slowed
little bit,
down.
the
Yeah,
last
things
few
started to
months-
stretch out. He didn't gain as much weight. Like it all, he evened out, which is what kids do. Like they grow, and then at some point they even out, and then they grow, and then they even out. And
So
then they grow.
if you were to say like the last few months felt like a year, maybe more so than the first few months, because like and look, we talked about it when we talked about having a kid and the first few months and all that stuff. Like we're not going to rehash all of that.
No.
But that was a different time. It feels like that was. It feels like that was another lifetime ago.
It does. It feels like it was forever ago.
It's not even like a year ago. That was a completely different thing. Yeah. But I want to ask you a very specific question.
Mm-hmm.
We got married, as of this release / recording, like 18 months ago, give or take. You were my wife. I was your husband for about, let's be generous. Let's say 5 months.
Yeah, I was going to say like 4 months maybe.
And then
we became mom and dad.
And then you've been mom and... Well, that was going to be my question. So, like, I know we were together for a long time. It's not like we're not new.
It is slightly
instead of
different.
being like we only had a few months to be like, and this is my husband, and this is my wife. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, I yell up to you for what you want for dinner. Mm-hmm. And it's not, hey, hun. It's, hey, mom.
Well,
like I now call you.
Not that often, though.
But I call you mom.
Around him.
Even when he...
Yeah.
Even when the kid is asleep, I call you mom. Like I am now so... It's like... This is the weird thing of the last year. You've become mom.
Yeah.
No. In that, like that,
dad.
I have my mom, but then I call you mom.
You call all the moms mom.
And it's just such a... You were my wife for like 3 minutes, and now all of a sudden you're just mom.
Yeah. Which I think is okay, because it wasn't like we needed to get used to that. Because like you said, we'd been together for a really long time, and being married didn't change really anything other than it was now... we were legally a couple.
It's a lot more comfortable to introduce you as my wife than this is my girlfriend.
Well, yeah, because you had even started to say partner because you didn't want to say girlfriend.
Girlfriend feels like I'm a teenager again. It's like, ooh.
But because it didn't change much for us, I think it also didn't necessarily matter that we didn't get to settle into those roles, so to speak.
That's fair.
We just kind of moved on. But see, I don't call you dad though. Like I still call you the same things that I only call you dad in front of him. Like because I want to try to get him used to. That's
a whole getting him to talk thing. But
it hasn't changed what I call you. Like I'm not going to call you, hey dad. No. I use your name, or I still say hun or honey. Maybe it's just because I'm lazy. And I call you mom a lot more when he. I don't notice it.
I know you don't.
I've not noticed it.
Yeah.
So I guess that also means that I've gotten comfortable with being a mom because I don't notice when I'm being called mom by you. And it doesn't seem weird.
But that's just one of the things that it's like, all right, so in this last year, like, and I understand that the moment birth happens, you become mom and dad. Like, I get that. But even though we wanted it.
Yeah.
We tried for it.
Mm-hmm.
We succeeded.
Yeah.
Still different. Like there's just something about, okay. And then, you get through the first 3 months. I still don't understand how we recorded that last bit. Like, like I think back on like, okay, so when was that? Okay. And like, you hadn't gone back to work yet, so it was in the first 3 months.
It was in the first 3 months
that we recorded it. We didn't release it right away, but like we recorded it still in that.
We were still sleep deprived.
Yeah, we weren't sleeping through the night.
No,
or anything. And now,
although shortly thereafter he was already sleeping through the night, so it's like, I know we got really lucky. So yeah. I even that, like, that seems so long ago that because you always hear like, oh, the sleep deprivation, not being able to sleep, and all the crying and the feeding and the getting up.
I told in an email this week,
mm-hmm.
I was reaching out to some people I haven't talked to in a year, 2 years, 3 years, and I had mentioned to somebody, I
got married and I have a kid now.
I got married and we have a soon to be 1-year-old.
Yep.
And the response was genuine. Like, are you getting any sleep? And I was just like, yeah, but like that would have been a valid question like 9 months ago.
Several months. Yeah, so long ago.
But we kicked him out of our room.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right.
Yeah, and he slept like I said, we put him into his crib, laid him down, and he just
that's the thing.
Slept.
That's the one maybe more than clothes is the pack and play and the crib and how when we first put him in there.
Yeah.
It was massive.
It was like everything was massive.
It was like putting a micro machine in like a cake tin or whatever. And now it's like, what do we like? I don't know that can contain him.
Yeah.
And the crib, it's like one of these days. I feel like it feels like any minute now he's gonna be able to stretch and reach end to end. Like, I know we're not there yet, but like it feels like any day.
Yeah.
And those kind of things. And I know we've got friends that we see. We've got family and friends that we send pictures to.
Yeah.
As best we can. And I don't know if this is things leveling off.
Mm-hmm.
We don't take nearly as many photos as we used to. No.
I think it kind of depends, though. I would say...
You think you're taking as many photos as you did?
Maybe not as many, but maybe not as often. But when he does specific things, there are still a lot of photos being taken because there's certain things like certain milestones, like...
Hey, I'm crawling. Hey, I'm standing up on my...
pulling himself up. Like those types of things where... But
we used to take pictures.
Well, yeah.
Not daily,
but a lot more because, like I said, earlier on, there was a lot of change.
Yeah,
so that it was like looking like, oh, we can see the progression in these photos because when you're in it, you don't necessarily notice it as much. You kind of look at like that almost like before and after photos of like...
It's the photos for you
Yeah.
that you look at and you see like, oh man, like occasionally...
Well, that's how you can also tell like just how much time has passed.
Well, and we both cleaned off our phones.
Yep.
I mean,
because
we did a
take
massive
so many
purge
pictures
of just like, all right, let's offload all the photos, clean. And I think I kept like 3 from like the early days.
And I guess that is also a way that you can tell that we are taking slightly less photos and videos because we haven't had to clean off my phone again yet.
No. Yeah, you're that. It's definitely you a lot more than me. But it's those people because we have, I would say, between the two of us,
we both have like
30 people
long
that
distance
get,
family.
No.
Oh, you just mean in general?
In general, there's 30 people that get photos of the child. It's not like take a photo, send it to 30 people. It's like take a photo, this one goes to 5. Always the grandparents and then a few others. And then
like aunts, uncles.
This photo goes to other aunts and uncles or friends or whatever. Yeah. And it's in those threads when I go like, all right, I haven't sent one to my aunt in a while. And it's like, oh, I see the last one we sent.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Or like your parents have photos on like in their house and on the fridge from like the day he was born.
Yep.
And then we'll go visit and it's like I'll hold him in my arms and then look at the fridge and go, how? Huh? It's like, look how tiny.
And I don't know. So the other thing we hear, other than are you sleeping?
Yep.
The common is it goes fast and enjoy it.
That's a lot. It's like enjoy it now because it's going to change. He's going to be walking any minute.
No, and I understand change is the natural progression until about physical change is a long thing. Like, you're just going to grow and grow and grow, and that's fine. That's part of it. And it's the emotional and like becoming a singular person unto yourself. I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the enjoy it part, I don't know that I am. I guess I wanted to ask, like, do you think I get a lot of time. I get more so than I, because I am working. You know, you work from home.
Yep.
I have a part-time gig from home, but mainly I'm childcare during the day.
Yeah.
And so, I don't take that for granted. And when he's cranky, and he needs to take a nap, and I have to hold him, and then he falls asleep on me for 2.5 hours. Like, I understand that those are moments that, like, we may or may not be growing out of them as we speak. I have no idea when the last one of those is going to be. And I try and take time to enjoy it, but I don't know how, because it's 2.5 hours, and I'm not just staring at him sleeping for 2.5 hours. That's just a little creepy.
A little weird.
Little weird.
Well, plus, depending on the angle, it would be hard to like stare down at him anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think I am. I think I'm enjoying it.
I'm going to say yes. By and large, aside from, like you said, but that's a part of having a baby and raising a baby, is that there'll be the moments where they're cranky or upset and loud and noisy and screech like a raptor. But I don't think
every child screeches just like a raptor.
No, it's just ours.
I don't know if it's just ours, but I'm saying I don't think it's every child.
Okay.
I've been around other babies. I've never
like
heard
a high pitched like.
They all
screech.
have a high pitched squeal. Yeah. His just happens to be like right out of the original Jurassic Park Velociraptors.
But I would say, overall, yes, I am enjoying being a parent.
No, I mean, do you feel like you're taking time to enjoy just the moment of you have a 9-month-old, you have a 10-month-old, you have a 1-year-old?
Yes.
Like, do you feel like can you go like in ignoring the photos? Do you have the mental go back and okay, I kind of remember, that was whatever that was.
Yeah, I can. I mean, some of it is
a blur.
A blur is difficult, but then I think that's also why the photos and the videos help, and I think why you take so many, especially kind of as from like birth until whenever, just to remember it, especially early on when you are still deep sleep deprived. But
well, that was the thing, right? And I think that's the one thing we talked about, and we're still doing it, is we write down his food.
Yeah.
Because even now, what was yesterday's dinner? What was yesterday's lunch? Let's try and vary it up. And even especially when you get out of sleep deprivation, but you go back into work.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
There's still a lot more going on.
It's changed, whereas we're no longer really doing it as far as keeping track of how much he's eating. We're keeping track of what it is, especially
it's more what?
Because of having to introduce him to new foods and things. Is you got to keep track of it to say like, okay, he's had this new thing and he's had this new thing and this. So these things are no longer new.
With the exception that we don't
have allergies.
With the exception that we didn't write down French fries, which he's on occasion.
Yeah.
But
it's also like, who's allergic to potato?
I mean, there's guys. I'm sure there's someone.
I mean, I guess by the law of averages, I'm sure. Yes, there probably is somebody on the earth that is allergic to potatoes, but that poor individual.
But I think that's why, and you do most of the feeding.
Yeah.
And I think, while that's a very tough job.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
when he liked to spit it out everywhere.
And
just for fun. Like, it wasn't that he didn't like it. He was just like, "Oh, this is fun. I'm just gonna go." Bleh.
But I like giving that to you because it feels like it makes up for missing out on 4 hours
parts
of
the
just
day.
Being adorable or cranky.
And that's why I think
I
am taking the time to enjoy it, because even though I am working and I'm lucky to be able to work from home so that it can afford me time to do things like just step away from my desk, go downstairs and just have a cuddle with him. Like, just pick him up, look at his smiling face and be like, I feel better now. And those are the things that I actually am enjoying, just having him, nearby. And it's funny because I have friends in the UK that one of them specifically is always like, I don't know how you get anything done, because I would just want to sit there and just stare at his adorable little face. And I'm like, no, I know. And I absolutely do that. If I need a break from work, is like, I'll go and I'll just enjoy a little bit of time with him and then feel better, go back to work. So I think that those types of things is kind of like my examples of, I am taking time to enjoy it, because that's not I'm going to like go see what he's doing and take pictures of it or do it. No, I'm just enjoying just spending some time with him and then kind of going back to whatever it is that I was doing.
Yeah. And I still feel like, we haven't gotten to a point because winter, cold, my office is not temperature regulated.
No, because it's unfinished. It's an unfinished basement.
But
you were even cold down here in the winter.
I'm
it's been really cold.
I'm curious when it warms up, will listening to me edit enable a nap? Will that unlock a nap? Right? Because that kid would listen to me, specifically my episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's my voice.
Probably. There's familiarity there. Yeah.
Yeah. But I could edit this show without headphones. Just be quiet. And, I wonder if that will still hold when spring, when it's warm enough.
Yeah.
To have a co-editor down in the office. I don't know.
Yeah, because during the warmer months you would bring him down here. We had a pack and play set up, and you'd do your thing, and
I'd try.
Yeah.
It was very I'll I mean, that's the kind of thing where you were talking about your friends. It wasn't true
productive.
Instead of whatever my normal editing time is, it took a little
bit longer. Yeah. Because it's like, what's he doing over there? What's going on?
And then wants to join the conversation.
Oh yeah.
And so talking to a podcast is boring. So then I'm like, all right, well, I'll talk to you. We can do this. And then it's like, all right, well, I haven't edited for 20 minutes now.
It's like, oops.
Yeah, I should get back to that. No, it's very weird how natural, and I hesitate to say this, but easy it felt to just be dad.
Yeah, it
can't be this easy for everybody, I don't think.
No, I think it definitely kind of depends on the child, the family dynamic. There's a lot of factors, but I think for us, like us as a couple, as a family, that like the three of us now, it's become very second nature. Like it almost just seems like we've been parents for a lot longer than a year.
Honestly, well, this is why when we started, I brought up us getting married, because it feels like I've been a parent for longer than we've been married.
We have been. Well, no, I wouldn't. No, we haven't been parents for longer than we've been married. No. But I get what you mean.
It feels that way. Like when I think back, I'm like, yeah, I know we got married first.
Because we were a couple. We've been a couple for so much longer, and then marriage happened, and
marriage is like a second by comparison. To
even though we're still married, but it's just like the act of getting married.
The legal status was such a short time, because then it went to
now we're parents. Then that's the main focus. It's no longer marriage is the big thing. So it's like, no, parents is the big thing. Do you remember,
aside from waiting, when is this happening? When is this thing getting out of me?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't refer to him as a thing, but yes. I mean, I was very ready towards the end.
You were very ready.
But it was still like, get this baby out of me.
Do you remember, like, let's say 2 years ago? Do you remember what we did 2 years ago?
No.
Like do you remember life before? Because I genuinely...
Certain parts, yes, but not as well. And I don't know if that's just because of, having a parent brain that's like, oh, now everything includes this child, and this is now our life, that it is hard to remember certain things. I think recently... I had my birthday was in January, and we were just sitting there thinking like, okay, so last year around my birthday I was pregnant, so we couldn't do anything. What did we do the year before that?
No clue.
No idea. We had no idea what we did. I'm pretty sure we went out and we did something, but I don't know. I can't remember. And the year before that, I'm like, the only thing I remembered was
One of them.
My 35th birthday, because it was kind of like a milestone birthday, 35, that we went out to a fancy restaurant with your parents and our good friend.
Yeah. That's it.
And that I remember because I associated with 35, but from 35 until now, I'm like, I don't remember what we did for all those other birthdays, because there were definitely birthdays between 35 and 39.
Yeah, so. And I'm thinking even just like normal days.
Mm.
Like, yeah, we'd get up. I'd always make coffee. I still do that.
Yeah.
It's that's the one thing that's remained. And then here's the thing. When I then you went to work.
Yep.
And I usually went to work.
Yep.
I didn't have I had a lot more time.
Mm-hmm.
and not nearly as much to work on. I have less time now and more to work on.
Yeah.
And I still get it done. And I still think back and go, what was I do? Like, I have no clue what I was doing. It's gone. Like, it's completely wiped from I can still remember things I did in college. I cannot remember what I did the year before we had a child.
Yeah.
Not a clue. It's gone.
I know I was streaming. I remember that. I did streaming for a little bit. And then, of course, there was the black hole that was COVID, because it's like all time went wonky around there, because that stretched on for so long. And yeah, I think for me, it's also one of those things where our new routine.
It's not that different from well, that's the other thing. Maybe this is why I can't remember.
We get up a lot earlier. At least I do.
You get up a lot earlier.
I get up a lot earlier than I really used to before. And it's like, initially I was like, I miss sleeping in, but now I've just gotten used to it. Like, it's one of those things where I think you get used to it. I've never really been a morning person. I don't like getting up early, but I do now because I feed him before work and then I go to work. Yeah. It used to be like I would roll out of bed like 5-10 minutes.
This is why the cat
liked you better.
Liked me better because I would get up to make coffee, and first one up feeds the cat.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, buddy. It's just, that's. But now, I mean, it could be first one up feeds the kid, but we don't do it that way.
No.
And my making coffee fuels you for the morning.
Yeah, I definitely drink a lot more coffee now.
Well, but it's
I don't know
not
if that was becoming apparent or
it's not a fair comparison for you though, because you went cold turkey off of coffee for 9 months when you were pregnant.
Yeah.
So
a lot longer if you count the the pregnancy before that.
Did you even start drinking coffee in between when we were trying in between? I don't remember. I think you were just like, hopefully this will take at some point and we'll just do it again. So
yeah, well, because it was the same thing with alcohol. Like, you didn't pick that up. I didn't pick it back up again because we were trying again. I think I may have had like coffee here and there in between, but not really.
So that's almost 18, almost 2. It's almost. It's a little under 2 years.
So I was making up for it.
Where you were dry and didn't have any coffee.
I'm making up for it now with like 3 cups a day.
Well, and then there was an attempt at breastfeeding, which we talked about, but that kept you from really drinking coffee.
Yeah, because they
tell you not to. So now, when that was behind us, it's like, I want to drink coffee.
And especially earlier on when there was still kind of the lingering sleep deprivation, it was almost like, I need the coffee. But it's like, what's the excuse now? I still drink the same amount, but
you drink more. You definitely drink more.
I meant like the same amount as when I stopped the breastfeeding. I was like almost 3 cups a day and thinking that I needed it because of the sleep.
And now you're
asleep. And now I'm still about 3 cups a day, but I get more sleep.
It's still fairly healthy. It's not. It's not a crazy amount.
And the other thing that I cut out, which it has been probably about a year now as well, is milk. I stopped drinking milk in my coffee.
Yeah.
And I've noticed a big difference because one thing that we've been doing also for about a year, maybe a little bit longer, is we've been keeping track of our weights.
Yeah.
And
it is seasonal. Like, we do go up and down with the seasons.
Yeah. I mean, definitely went up a little bit around the holidays because, of course, you do. Who doesn't?
I mean, yours does. Mine doesn't.
Yeah.
Mine goes up in the winter. When it gets cold and snowy.
Because you're less active.
Yeah. That's when it goes up.
But that's also the same for the holidays.
We were keeping track of it also because it allowed us in between visits.
Yeah, to see how heavy he was getting.
Whoever had the most even weight, the most zero.
We would note that, and then we'd take the baby and we'd step on the scale with the baby, and then we'd just subtract.
Yeah. And it was a way to, because especially early on, especially after, so you have the 1 week, the 2 week, and then the 4 week. Then you get the 4 week and the 1 is the 1 month.
Yeah.
And then you have a 2 month, a 3 month, and then you skip to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And in between, for months 3 and 4, it doesn't stop aunts, uncles, and family from asking how much he weighs.
How much does he weigh now? How tall is he now?
So while we chose not to do
especially
length.
early on, he was changing weights much more rapidly. He was gaining weight rapidly. Yeah. So it was kind of like, we want to know what it is.
But as we don't do length, we still were keeping track of weight.
Yeah.
And so that was an easy way and to do it for us because we were, look, I think both of us, and we didn't talk about this as much, but you lost weight during your pregnancy because of the
I mean, it was also technically a geriatric pregnancy, but it was
because of the
gestational diabetes.
Gestational diabetes, 2 G's.
I know.
All right. So you ended up losing weight.
Yes.
And
so I didn't put on as much. I mean, I was still, a good weight as far as, being
but
pregnant.
You didn't gain. It wasn't excessive like it could have been.
And I probably would have gained more, but because I was doing a lot of walking. We had a very careful diet because I had to.
And then before that, which I kind of held on to, was when we were trying, especially in the winter months when I'm less active, I was forcing myself to go for walks to stay in shape, because when you're trying, they tell you to just stay in better shape. Like, all right. So I held on to that until the first 3 months. He's a spring kid. So
technically still a winter kid.
Whatever.
February is still winter.
But it still was, I still had to wait for the thaw, but I started running before you went back to work just to try and get back into it. So we were still trying to keep ourselves.
Yeah. I was still walking, still kind of trying to stay active,
doing the best we can for that. And part of it, then you still, I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, I feel bad not being able to get out as we record this during the worst polar vortex, the longest polar vortex, ignoring the snow. It's just too cold.
I can't remember. I don't think we ever had snow on the ground, at least this much snow on the ground for this long since I've moved here.
Not since you've been here, but it means that I'm not kind of taking.
You can't really get out.
Can't really get out.
The sidewalks are clear, but it's not that great, and it's really cold, and just it's like you don't want to go outside.
the motivation for taking care of yourself is just to be in better shape to be in better shape as a parent.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah,
I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
We do want to be healthier because we want to be around for our
kid. We wanted to be healthy before, and now it's just like, well, just slightly different motivation. I didn't have a name. It's like,
it's nice to know that it's like I weigh less now than I did before we got pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, and that's that you did a lot. To get there, and it's one of the few things that's actually changed is your diet for gestational diabetes changed the way we eat permanently. We pay a lot more attention to sodium than we used to.
We pay a lot more attention to carbs and sugar.
Yeah, and we're not reading every label. No. There are things we do, but on a whole,
we used to eat a lot of like those like chicken patties, and we don't do that anymore because those were actually really
we switched to actual chicken burgers because they're not breaded. It's not full of as many preservatives. It's a little bit
how like that type of thing was so bad for like my blood sugar when I was on having to do the diet for the gestational diabetes, because you don't think that it's just like a thinly breaded patty. But
how bad can it be? But you'd be better off.
But then you add the bun, and then God forbid you put any ketchup on it.
Yeah,
good
ignore
grief.
That. Yeah, no, that.
I made, and I think we talked about this. Like I remember looking up online of like what a Burger King.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Like cheeseburger or whatever, like a kid's meal.
It spiked you a lot worse than it should
have.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, okay. So no burgers whatsoever.
We don't do. We used to get takeout once a week.
We did.
And now we're at about once a month, and that's
twice a month.
It's mainly. It's honestly
usually once a month. Yeah, so
it's
we've cut out fast food quite a lot. We've cut out takeout quite a lot.
It's mainly health. It's not money. It's mainly health. And look, I know that the restaurants, especially when you ignore fast food, the restaurants have healthy options. But if I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to order takeout, I am not going to order something good for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think part of that has been becoming parents, because it's harder to just go out to a restaurant now, because we don't want to be
those parents.
The parents that just take a baby, even though we think he probably would do fine, and we're going to do that at some point. But it's kind of one of those things where, okay, we're not going out to restaurants unless we get a babysitter. So it's kind of been a lot more home cooking. And then now we've started getting more healthier ingredients and things, and we're doing things at home. And I think that's all because of the fact it's like, well, let's do stuff because we have the baby and we should just, we're gonna be at home. Yeah. And I think that's kind of been part of it is it's becoming parents has changed the way we eat as well.
A little bit. And you also every parent knows this. They're always watching.
They are.
And so you want to eat, reasonably well. That you don't know what they're going to remember. So I recently discovered a podcast with is his name Giles Brandish? Mm-hmm. I think. Anyway, he's a British TV legend, basically. He's done everything over there.
Yeah.
And he's got a video interview thing where he sits down with comedians that we know from British panel shows and watching British panel shows.
I mean, I think it's a podcast with video because they talk into microphones. Like you can see the microphones on camera.
It might be available. I think it's called Rosebud, if I remember correctly.
I think it is technically a podcast though.
But one of his first questions to everybody is, "What's your first memory?" And it.
Oh wow!
Now it's usually around. It averages around 2-ish.
2 or 3. Yeah.
And I know a few of the more like cerebral comedians have been like, I don't know. Because like, I know this thing that happened when I was like, 16 months old, but I don't know if it's because I saw there was a picture of the thing and somebody told me the story and I remember it that way, or if I actually remember it myself. But the point is, we're in the window. We have a 1-year-old. At any point now, he could something we do or that happens to him,
or that
could
he
be,
does,
or that
could
be his first memory. We have no idea what that's going to be.
Yeah. And
whether he remembers it until he's 5, till he's 10, or until he's 50, we don't know. We don't know how memories work. We just don't.
Yeah. Well, I know that as far as I'm concerned, my earliest memories, I knew, like I could sense them and like see it in my mind, like clear, like it was a movie when I was a lot younger, especially growing up, like high school, when people would tell me like, or ask like, what's your earliest memory? Like I could see it. I could visualize it.
What would the age be, give or take?
Like between 10 to like 18. I think
Months?
the first. No, like what do you mean, like development or remembering?
No, like
stuff?
what your first memory that you're thinking? How old are you in that memory?
Like 3.
Okay, so that's and that's usually it. But I'm
like,
just saying
what I'm saying though is I could remember it better when I was younger. Now that same memory that I know is my earliest memory, I can barely visualize it, and it's only because I've talked about it so much as being one of my first memories that I remember it being a memory.
Well,
like at this point, it's like I'm very far removed.
Not for nothing,
from like 3.
And we didn't talk about this yet, but the memories that we've got from this first year are probably more unique. So there's always the whole thing about memory. Yeah. If it's unique, you'll remember it more. We've had more unique memories in the last year.
Yeah.
Plus, even the couple months leading up to birth. Mm. So let's say 1.5 years. In the last 1.5 years, we've had more unique things that will never happen again or won't happen that way ever again than we had in our entire relationship.
Absolutely.
You could put up everything that happened from like, okay, you're pregnant, which was the second time we heard that. Mm. And then getting into the second trimester for the first time.
Yeah.
Getting into the third trimester, the gestational diabetes.
All the additional tests. Not necessarily additional tests, but the tests I never got to because we didn't get that far with the first one. I still
remember your last Friendsgiving before the diagnosis.
Yep.
And I still remember a very sad Christmas meal and a very sad New Year's meal. Yeah. And even for your birthday, it was like, what can we eat? But like, I remember that stuff. I
don't even think I had cake on my birthday, which we normally do.
Did
I have cake?
You did.
Just
absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit. Yeah. Just the tiniest amount of cake.
And then, no, I bought a slice.
Oh, that's right.
And we split it.
Yeah.
Because it was like, well, I'm going to eat most of this, but you can have a bite.
A little bit, yeah.
And then it was...
And then I think it was also like, I think it probably did spike my blood sugar a little bit, but it was like,
fine. But you know why. It's not like
exactly.
a worry.
Yeah, it wasn't like, yeah.
And then I remember... obviously the weeks leading up and talking to people and being like, I'm just, it's one of those things where I'm just waiting for it to happen. Like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen?
Yeah.
And then the due date came and went and it's time for induction. And then I remember basically jumping off a cliff with you because from that first, from the moment.
Well, because when we got married, it wasn't jumping off a cliff. Because I know some people say that they get married and it's like, do you want to jump off a cliff with me? But it wasn't like that for us because getting married wasn't a big difference.
Change
it didn't
anything.
change anything.
Yeah, we were already living together.
It was basically on paper that it changed, but becoming parents, like
that was
the birth that was completely different because it's like now we have this human to take care of.
But all that stuff leading up to bringing a baby home, and then all of the firsts and the unique things and I still, and look, we're a year away, we're a year removed from it.
Yep.
I still remember Friday afternoon coming home from the hospital and being like, all right, well, this was my house. Now it feels very different. And there's another occupant.
Yeah.
And that
there's a lot of different noises are happening. We didn't know how to function. Like
I didn't know what to do.
It's so good that we had your parents around because they came and brought us like food. They're like, we're here, don't worry.
Yeah, but and so from then on, again, it's all these things in those 18 months.
We've definitely built more core memories.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Core
memories during this.
Than we did in our entire relationship before this.
Yeah, because before that, it was
it's not
like
that we didn't have good memories.
No,
it's just nothing in this vast.
No, like I'm sure before this, we would have been like, "Oh yeah, that was a big memory," like going out for our anniversary or blah blah blah.
I just named for you what, like 10 different things. I think beforehand it would have been. I can name what they would have. The core memories would have been right. It would have been. I still remember the night I asked you out.
Yep.
Meeting in Grand Rapids.
In person. Yep.
And specifically, I think a third from there would be the first, the real date we had in Grand Rapids.
The first actual date. First time I visited you was a
4.
Big one.
Then 5 comes when you visit with your mom.
We already couldn't remember when that happened.
Well, that was a whole. Well, I remember. Well, when your mother came, we couldn't remember.
Yeah, we couldn't remember if it happened the same year or like
But that's 5.
I think it did.
6 is when you picked a date to move in.
Yep.
7 is when you moved in, and then there's probably 8 and 9 and 10 are probably all related to a few very specific things.
Like announcing to your entire family that we were going to get married.
Oh, I wasn't even getting there yet. I was thinking...
well, that's the next thing. I think that's the next big thing. No,
because I had a real job.
Oh,
and so my dad retired, and you went to the retirement party and met so many people, right? Like,
but there was a lot of people that
there was a few of those pre-COVID things, and then COVID happens, right? And then after COVID, we went on a trip.
Yep.
And then we started going to Baltimore for baseball games.
My first baseball game, that's a big thing.
And then there was again pre-COVID, you went to your first college basketball game.
I went to my
we went to a doubleheader.
And that was my first baseball game was actually with the Iron Pigs here, and then my first
major league
was Baltimore.
But all of that stuff is in like a 5, 6, 7 year period.
A long
and then
time.
COVID happens, obviously, and a few things. But again, that's, a long time. And then all of a sudden, from the moment you were pregnant the first time, we just named way more core memories in that short period of time.
Yeah.
And I'm not diminishing anything on either side of the before and after child, but it is very much a weird thing when we're talking about the last year.
And the way we look at the things too, it's.
Especially because other than the core memories, again, what were we doing 3 years ago on a random whatever night? Like pick one, like pick a work day. I don't remember. Or a weekend. I genuinely just cannot remember what that was like.
No.
It's gone. And I don't know if that's evolution saying you don't have to worry about what it was like because it's never going to be like that again.
Exactly. It was like that's what mundane was, and now you have a child. Nothing is ever mundane.
It's very different though.
Yeah.
Now, were you quite ready for just how different things were going to be? We didn't know quite what different. We didn't know what different looked like. Obviously, no new parent is really prepared.
But I think you're prepared that there are going to be differences, and then I think it's just how you kind of deal with them. So it's like I think so. Like I think like we've been saying, like I think we both fell into the role of parent quite quickly and quite easily. Everything kind of became almost second nature. Like, I mean, I already had experience changing diapers. You did, but it had been a long time. For me, it was a little bit more recent. But like,
but the thing is,
you got back into it real quick. Like changing a diaper became just second nature. Like it was just like boom,
helped.
Boom, 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 boom.
I think that first 3 months of sleep deprivation really helps because when you can change a diaper with no sleep and you're barely able to,
you realize you're just doing the motions and you can do it with little sleep or not.
Yeah. So the rest of it just becomes like, all right,
now I can do it with more sleep. Fine. So it's like fine.
Yeah. So what do you expect? And I'm gonna put you on the spot. Aside from more change, what do you expect from the next year? Like before you come back and I say, hey, we have a 2-year-old. Yeah. If we do that. I
mean, I don't think we necessarily need to.
Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Yeah. I'm just saying.
It depends.
But let's assume that is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to change the most from, hey, we have a 1-year-old in between then to, hey, we have a 2-year-old? Like what?
I think it'll really be that like, oh, we can communicate now. That's going to be, I think, like the biggest deal, because right now it's like he has like his tells, like he has his signs, like we know when he's getting tired, we know when he's hungry.
We can read him.
But I think getting to the point where he can start talking and communicating, that's I think going to be completely different. I mean, I talked about that on the previous
episode. Like, I'm really excited for that.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited. Although I think the first time he tells me no to my face, I'm going to be crushed and I'll be like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, autonomy's really, really,
it's
really
like
a sucker punch.
God, I can't wait for that little personality to develop. But at the same time, I'm like, oh God.
So this is.
I think that's really going to be what I think tests me as
I was
going to say
this is the conundrum we find ourselves in. Okay, because you and I were very different children.
We were very different children. I've heard stories,
and so
and you've heard stories about me.
So this is where, and I mean that in every sense of the word.
Yes,
and they always say, may you have the child you were. And so here we sit in this conundrum, because if we have the child that you were, it's easy street, baby.
Yeah.
It's easy street. If we have the child that I was, it's anything but easy street. Oh
my God.
So this is the thing, right? Is it going to be like me light?
Let's hope.
But he
doesn't have to be a completely, angel child
like you were.
Like I were.
And that's the thing I've heard. Those are the stories I've heard, is that you were an angel child.
Yeah. I
wasn't a terror, but I was not an angel.
No. You got into a lot of trouble at school. I got into trouble at school once, and it scarred me for life. And I was like, I'm never getting in trouble again.
Yeah, my trouble at school went from elementary school, which was harmless stuff.
I got grounded once in my life, and was like, nope. And
God.
Yeah, no, I felt so guilty and terrible, and it wasn't even that bad, but it was it, like I said, it scarred me for life as a child.
If I've
I was like,
passed
oh God.
on my immunity to guilt, you are in trouble.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm in as much trouble as you may be, because I was never going to try and play a guilt card. Whereas I feel like
I probably would.
You probably would try.
I mean, I have to at least try to see if it
I don't know
works.
that you have to at
I think
least
I
try.
have to try.
I don't think that's a thing.
Gotta see what my mom powers will be. Gotta test them all out. See which ones work, which ones
Do you
don't.
know what mom powers you have now? Like, would you say you? I mean, look, mom powers, dad powers, they're very different.
Yeah.
And they probably change as
I don't know. Right now, I think our parent powers are probably fairly similar because our.
What do you think they are?
Well, right now, like we can both easily make him smile. Like we can make him smile, we can make him laugh. We both like sing to him or at least play music to him. Like I'll sing to him. You'll play instruments and things, and like that'll calm him down like immediately. If I sing to him or you play, a guitar. So I think those are kind of like our powers currently. But I don't know what they'll become because I think we'll definitely need some additional parent powers.
Yeah, I think you're going to need more than sing and guitar. Yeah. Like I think you're going to need a little bit more than that.
I think it'll help though that we've instilled this love of music in him.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope. So are we going to, so you're telling me we will develop more parent powers?
Yes. Yeah.
Because
if all of the things that like our parents have told us, you do, like your mom likes to joke that as a mom I'll grow eyes in the back of my head. Because that's a mom power
and
that develops.
You'll hear whatever
different hearing,
whatever is muttered under breath. Yep. You will hear clear as a bell.
Yeah.
In theory.
So there are those.
I still don't believe my mother heard everything.
There are those things that you hear that are the things that only moms can do, and the things that dads can do.
So here's
the
thing
to see what we get.
Here's the key for me as far as parent superpower.
Mm-hmm.
On this show, post child, I was a parent.
Mm-hmm.
I started and did the Proust questionnaire.
Mm.
And in the 4th episode of that with Jason Zapata, we talked about patience.
Mm.
And we talked a lot about it. And if you want to hear our actual thoughts, go back to the episode. I'm not going to do it now. But what I will say is I spoke a little bit about becoming a little more patient in my older age than I maybe would have been. But like having done it for a year, I definitely have a lot more patience now than I did before.
Yeah, I always thought of myself as a patient person, but I think until you're truly tested by a tiny human that can't do any, like they don't know any better because it's just the way that they are, like the crying and the crying and the screaming and the everything, like that really tests your patience. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I am definitely a patient person if I can make it through this.
I think that if I truly was so bad with patience that it was just starting to get better as I crested 40, I don't think I would have handled the last year very well.
No.
I think I have a.
No.
I think at least
we were both
when it,
patient to begin with.
I was going to say, at least
helps,
when it comes to being a parent, maybe not everything, maybe not every aspect of my life, but when it comes to being a dad, I think patience is my superpower. At least right now. I don't know that will last.
I don't know if it's necessarily a superpower or if it was a power because really we're saying it's a power we already had. It just became enhanced.
Well, for me, it became very
enhanced.
For me, it became very.
You're just pushing a button. More patience.
Zoom in. Zoom in.
Increase.
Further.
Increase.
Let's go.
Dial it up.
So, I mean, I remember you asked if we would do it again at one point. I said no, because that's what we were always saying.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember. I asked?
Yeah, that was the final question on one of them. On one of your previous appearances. And we still occasionally
I think
get
it was
that
more
question.
so because other people were asking it.
We still
I think
get that question.
I immediately followed it up with like, I know we said it's not going to happen. And I mean, yeah, we still hear it. I hear it from coworkers all the time. They're like, oh, well, if he's so perfect, then, why don't you go for another one? And it's like, no, that's what you shouldn't do because you already have a good child. Why ruin it? No, I'm kidding. But it's true because that's usually what people.
We still get the question.
It's like if you have a child that's difficult, they usually try for a second one to see if it gets better.
But I still think it's ridiculous. We still get the question.
Yeah,
but it goes back
we've been
to
pretty
that.
Firm about.
It goes back to that email. Like we're a year in, and still, are you getting sleep? Like,
yeah.
And these were, and look, there were people we reached out. Like sleep was the number one question. Like period. And it's funny to me that it's still a question.
Yeah.
I wonder when that stops. Because I know, according to my mother, my mother will say
everyone's like most important thing is sleep. So
I don't know, but I will tell you that my mother will say that when we come on the podcast and they go, hey, we got a 16-year-old, my mother will be like, well, that's when the sleep stops again. But for different reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. She's told me that. She's like, you're getting sleep now, but just wait. Once they become teenagers and you start losing sleep all over again for different reasons. But yeah. I was going to say something now. I don't know what it was. What were we just talking about?
So here's the deal. I'll level with all of you. This was our second recording for the episode. The first one was fine, but Steph spent too much time talking about our child. We love and adore our child, but this episode was about being parents for a year. It was about us, and this second attempt accomplished that much better. It's easy to lose yourself in parenting. You become a parent, and that's all you are, but it's not. You are still you. Being a parent means you do have your own thoughts, feelings, emotions, and stories that may be because of, but are not solely about your child. It was important to me that we have a conversation about ourselves. It isn't the norm, but it should be. And again, we love our child, but we are still Steph and Jason, not just mom and dad. You don't leave that behind just because you become a parent. You encompass both. Anyway, thank you for listening to the Palmer Files episode 170. And now for the official business. The Palmer Files releases every 2 weeks on Tuesdays. If you're still listening, I encourage you to join the discussion. You can find all related ways to contact us in the show notes. Stefanie Stershic was a special guest executive producer for the episode. The music for this episode was provided by Henno Heitur. Email and comments can be sent to this show at thepalmerfiles@gmail.com. And remember, your home for all things Agent Palmer is agentpalmer.com. All right, Steph, do you have one final question for me?
I do. Is there a sport that you want him to be interested in? Like one more than any other?
Well,
because you watch a lot of sports.
No, I wouldn't say one more than any other. I mean, we do limit screen time.
Yeah, we do. But we do watch sports with him because sports is
they're
different. It's different. Yeah.
Sports and podcasts and talking head videos, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
panel shows.
Panel shows. No, not really. I know that you have an extensive list that has built up over the course of having a 1-year-old
of sports he won't be allowed
he's
to
not
play.
allowed to play.
Yeah, he can watch them all.
But as far as watching, I mean, I feel like it will depend on.
Does it depend on timing? Because that's one of the things I was also thinking of. There's different sports, different parts of the year.
So it's part of its time, part of its attention. Mm-hmm. Right now, because of our limited screen access as much as possible, Menus are a lot more interesting than actual things.
Getting to the thing is far more interesting.
Like scrolling through YouTube to find something is very interesting. Once the thing's on, I'm done with it.
Yeah, then he'll entertain himself, which is actually surprising because you would think that he would be hooked on the screen, and he's not. Like, he'll look at it and they're like, meh.
Going through Sling to find a game.
Yeah.
Again, same thing. Ooh, it's interesting. And then once the game's on, not so much.
Yeah.
So whenever that changes based on time of year.
Yeah.
But I think it also depends. I think I know what it will more than likely be.
What's that?
It will probably be either baseball or football. Based on the sheer volume from when it starts.
Sports,
like I will watch.
Baseball goes from like March until October.
March through November.
November, yeah, even.
And then football will be basically late. Well, for us, because we watch the CFL in this house.
Yeah, we watch CFL.
Football will be...
We also watch football, like as in
soccer. Well, soccer's basically year-round for us.
It is.
So it could be soccer, but the frequency's not there like baseball and
actual,
American
like
football
American,
would be.
Canadian football.
So... I mean, it's probably one of those. I mean, auto racing, but I wonder to him if it'll make a difference what shape the car is. Like, if I'm watching Daytona or
Indy,
I'm watching F1
NASCAR,
or Indy,
F1.
like, I wonder if it makes a difference, or the truck series. I don't.
You do watch.
I
all
wonder
of them,
if it will make a difference, or if it's just something go fast, go vroom, like, and then all of a sudden. So that's a possibility. I think maybe. More importantly than anything else would be, does his awareness really come into focus in July? Because then you've got a new problem.
What happens in July?
The Tour de France happens in July.
Oh, that's right.
Which is 6 hours that he watched with me this year of continuous coverage all morning long.
He loved it. You would watch it on the laptop. You put the laptop on the living room table, and he'd sit on my lap and he'd watch the bicycle.
So in that case, that's it. That because I don't watch everything. I watch both tours, the women's and the men's. Yeah. So maybe that's what he already. I mean, we already know he likes it, but again, that's slightly different.
The random sports that you watch on occasion, just because of that you've stumbled across them.
Well, I started watching cricket before he was born, while I was waiting, while I couldn't sleep because it was on. I love Aussie rules football, which I watched while feeding him at 3 a.m.
Yeah, because we were up in the middle of the night. I watched them too.
I do wonder if the Tour de France is because especially when they're showing the group, it's like 75 billion colors.
Yeah. No,
all
it was
moving
definitely
a little bit.
A lot of colors. And
maybe like the start of the Daytona 500 or any NASCAR race, which is a lot more closely packed together, colorful than, say, like F1 would be. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think even all that aside, I still think it'll probably be football
probably.
Or baseball.
Yeah, those two.
Based on when he decides to take an interest in what happens after the menu goes away.
Yeah, that's true.
But I have no problem if he only cares.
Yeah. Well, because baseball makes sense because you don't just watch your team.
No, I watch all of them.
You watch a bunch of teams.
I watch a lot.
Yeah, and across like time zones, like you watch the Dodgers and the Padres, so you've got West Coast.
I love that
games
West Coast stuff. The NL West is even,
and then you've got the Orioles.
The NL West might be my favorite division in all of baseball, even more than the one that the Orioles are in, because as we record this right now, they talk about realignment.
Yeah.
And the NL West is going to stay exact. There is no one's touching the NL West when it comes to realignment.
Yeah.
The Orioles could end up in a different division.
Yeah.
But the NL West is going to stay those teams, those 4 teams. That's it. That's it. And that's wonderful out there. But hopefully he won't ever be up late enough to watch the West Coast games with me.
Hopefully not.
that was during year 1.
Yeah.
Hopefully not again until year 18.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Let's face it, he'll be staying up late well before 18, but
well, that's fair. No, I don't have a preference. I'm willing to explain if questions are asked or not explain. I think.
Well, because you have a lot of sports knowledge. Like, I ask you questions, and you sometimes say things before the announcers do.
Well, that's a whole different
So like, I feel like he would maybe be like, what are you saying, Dad?
But you're a very good litmus test for this because you moved into this house without being a sports fan.
Yeah.
I watched certain sports. I did not patronize you by explaining the sports. I waited for you to either ask the question. I would ask questions. And you, because of who you are, you asked questions more related to my reaction than to anything that actually happened.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, why are you reacting like that?
So I wonder,
like, what did I miss? What am I not getting?
Because some of these you were new to.
Yeah.
So the question will be, will he ask about my reaction to things, or will he ask because he's curious about what happened?
I think he will ask quite a lot, I think, based on our reactions of watching
I guess the answer is my inane sports knowledge will finally come in use.
You'll be able
if questions are asked, I could probably answer most of the basic
You
ones.
will be his OG sports center that no longer exists. That you grew up watching that is not around anymore, but you will be that for him.
And you know that because I lament that all the time because it's not quite the same as it used to be. You don't sit down and watch all the sports things. It's just they know the internet exists and it's barely even highlights. It's whatever. No, I'm excited for it. I am.
Yeah.
I'm excited, and right now the only time we get to watch stuff is right before the afternoon nap if we're together.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's or
in the evening right after dinner.
Yeah. So when that awareness kicks in, whatever sport it happens to be, I'm on board for it. And look, there's also we can go and we live in a time where we can go back in time. If it's baseball and it happens to be like playoff time and then there's no more baseball, we got YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, I can go on YouTube and be like, here's a game from when I was 13 that I watched. We can watch this together, right? Yeah. Like, there are these, or if it's NASCAR, you can go watch full races from way back when. And football is the same way. So the introduction is not limited by season.
Yeah.
As far as,
that's true.
Whatever. But we'll see. I'm not rooting.
Yeah. And then there's also all the live sports that we can take him to. Like, we can take him to a local baseball game. We can take him to a local college basketball game.
We can take him to any college sport he wants, really. But I guess the other thing would be
because that's what really changed it for me, I think, as well, was I went to my first baseball game with the local team here and thought this is fun. Like, this is great. I'm starting to understand it. And then I went to my first major league game and it went from there. So I think that'll also kind of play into it, I think.
But ignoring sports, the only other thing that really screen time allows is we watch concerts together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do.
Because music, I know, is something that will calm. Even regardless of the music. So
plus I think music is also very important to us. Like, for us, you and I.
Yeah. So
music is more than just listening to something. There's like emotional attachment.
I know a lot of people are will throw sports and music under the bus as being garbage screen time. But when you compare it to any of the scripted stuff out there, I would let that kid watch every concert on YouTube and all the sports before any reality TV, absolutely. Right? So it's just, this is what we're comfortable putting on the screen, or just turn it off. You amuse yourself, kid. Yeah. Like, it's fine.
He's got a bigger library than both of us combined as children, so he'll have plenty of things to do and read.
It doesn't have to be a screen, but we are limiting. So that's why sports and music are big. Yeah. It's probably the few things we let stay on the screen long.
Yeah.
But I'm not. And I think, between us, there'll be some interest.
Yeah.
Especially with, the stuff that you watch. Although I've turned you into a pretty general sports fan as well. So who knows?
Yes, you've definitely turned me into a sports fan. I watch sports now and understand the sports that I'm watching that I never did before.
So no preference. And
we're sports family.
We're a sports
so
house.
I think he'll
fine.
he'll find his thing.
Yep. And that's whatever that is what it is.
And that'll be fine with us.